Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another video. I really just need to mention this. I know I said I wasn't going to speak about anything else that was like, kind of deep about the West and the problems that the people have and the mentality and things like that. But since we're on this, this flood wave is still a little fresh because I'm getting messages from family members 3 days late from the flood asking me, am I okay? And I have people actively making comments on my video regarding the infrastructure of the UAE and the flood and everything like that. But I just want to mention, I have to say this, and this is for, especially for any Gulf Arab that are watching this video or come across this video, and for the rest of you as well. The reason why the West is hating, especially on Dubai, because it's the most famous and the most praised and put on a pedestal by non-Muslims, right? It's a destination that represents wealth, prosperity, status. The fact that a Middle Eastern city that is in a Muslim country is known for being modern in its structure anyway, its buildings, its economy. The West, who was formerly Christian, meaning their societies were governed by Christianity, they are jealous because the Middle East, Saudi Arabia included, Qatar, UAE, are modernizing their cities structurally, how they look aesthetically, yet they're holding on to religion. And they couldn't do that themselves. They had to let go of their religion, turn their back on religion, adopt democracy in order to settle all of the fights between them with their sects, their Christian sects breaking off and fighting each other. They couldn't progress worldly wise with religion in the way. Whereas though the Middle East is thriving, the Gulf region is thriving religiously and structurally is released to modernization. What we know in the new world, what modernization is, what's known to be. So they don't like that. And they don't like that science is not first in your societies. They want scientists to be spearheaded and planted and the go-to people to say what goes and what doesn't go, and what you accept and what you don't accept, what's valid and what's not valid, what's reality and what's not reality. If that's not present, then they have a problem with that. And they don't consider you modern in reality. So that's their standard of modernization. You need democracy. That's why Israel is so important, because it's supposed to be the only democracy state in the region. That's what they say. That's why America supports Israel. And you need science. Democracy, science. Democracy is man-made laws. That's what you need in order to be modern, for the West to accept you as being modern. So that's why they're mad. It boils down to religion at the end of the day, because they're religious failures. They threw their religion behind their backs, and they're involved in all sorts of disbelief and debauchery and all sorts of disgusting garbage, all sorts of illegal, immoral activities that causes their societies to so-called thrive. Lowly activities that they embarked upon in order for their cities and countries to thrive. Straight up haram. And that's why they're jealous. They don't like purity. They don't like goodness. They don't like religiosity. They don't like it. Because they weren't able to obtain anything by being religious. Of course, because they were upon shirk. Shirk. Say no to shirk. You know how they say no to drugs? Say no to shirk, y'all. Say shirk is bad for your life. It's bad for your health. It's bad for your wealth, for your security. Say no to shirk. If you don't know what shirk is, it's polytheism. Say no to shirk. That's why their societies couldn't thrive. And they had to go to more kufr, deeper kufr, in order, which is disbelief, in order to thrive. Imagine that. And they're not thriving, actually. It looks like it. But they're only setting their own demise, going further and further and further into darkness. But yeah, that's what y'all need to know. That you could go to any Western video where the news is covering someone getting arrested in Dubai because they said something against the government or they said something against the religion. The comments from the Westerners are, oh, I won't go to any country that has blasphemy laws. Right? Blasphemy laws is something that was in the West, in Christian countries, where you said something about the church or religion, then you could be arrested. It's blasphemy. Anything you say about God that is against the Bible is blasphemy. So they say that Muslim countries or the Gulf countries, they have blasphemy laws. So they don't want to come visit because any countries who rule their countries by a book that is man-made is not a country I want to visit or live in. My freedom of speech is restricted, i.e., I am not able to speak about God in a way that I want to. I can't freely speak about him in a disbelieving way. I can't condemn religion. I can't criticize religion. I can't criticize Muhammad. I can't criticize the Quran. I cannot call to disbelief or infect the people with atheism. We're not allowed to do any of that, and that's what we want to do because that's what the West is now predicated on. So if we can't do any of that stuff, we're going to condemn you. We don't want you. We don't want to come to your country. And if we do come to your country, then they're going to be disgruntled. They're really just tolerating the Gulf countries because they love money above all. Money and lifestyle above all. So they'll tolerate it as long as they're getting what they want. You know, this relates to being able to make money and live well. And they have their social circles where they could go and drinking alcohol and, you know, and deal with women and all of that stuff that they like to do. That's a part of their lifestyle. But yeah, it boils down to religion, 100%. Like I said, you could go to any Western video covering something from the Middle East, and they say their true feelings. They don't talk about Taliban. They don't talk about ISIS. They don't talk about what Daesh that y'all say. They don't talk about Daesh. They don't say anything about that. They talk about what they really feel. They don't like the Quran, and that your laws are based upon that. They don't like that religion is first in your society because in their belief, they believe that, number one, Islam copied off of them. Islam is a copy of Christianity and Judaism put together. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam copied off the Jews and the Christians. He made the book himself, right? He's a false prophet. Religion is man-made anyway, so if Christianity is debunked, they debunked it already, right? They debunked the Bible. It's false. It's not from God. It's actually man-made, which Christianity is. Not the religion of Isa, but Christianity is, in fact, man-made. However, if the Muslims copied off the Christians and Christianity is man-made and false, then inherently Islam is false. So how could countries actually implement laws off of a book that is being made and is false in the first place? That's their thinking. That's their rationale. That Muslims are ridiculous, religion is ridiculous, you're foolish, you're backwards, you're stupid, and you don't have a right, you shouldn't be modernizing without science. You're doing it wrong. You have to do it how we did it. Democracy, adopt. They want you to disbelieve. That's what they want, ultimately. Or they want to have you just have a silhouette of Islam. You can have the skeleton of Islam, do whatever you want as relates to the rituals, but don't have it as your governing force. Don't have that. That can't be your foundation, because that's not true modernization. That's regression. That is primitive. It's primitive. It's not progressive. Got to be progressive. That's their whole entire mindset. And you can look on any video, like I said, y'all just not looking. If you don't believe me, you're not looking in the right places. I'm from there. I'm from the West. So, and I have to live. I had to live with those kind of statements. We had to have those kind of conversations. You have to defend yourself and defend your religion. You're not looking in the right places. You got to look at the videos on their part of the world when they report on you, and then read the comments. That's where you'll find everything. Anything on intellectuals, what they think about Islam, you'll find what they believe, the reality of it. So I just wanted to let y'all know I had to do the real spill, just in case no one caught it in my psychological effects of living under the disbelievers video. I wanted to be blunt and just make it a topic in and of itself. That's the real deal, and that's why they're jealous. That's why they're mad. They can't tolerate it, and they just use events to hide behind in order to show their jealousy and their hatred and the real issue with the Middle East. They don't like religion. Religion is in the way. Islam is in the way, specifically because they already demolished Christianity, which, by the way, needed to be subdued. I have to say this. Alhamdulillah for separation of church and state. Because if you look at the Christians and how crazy they are in all those different sects in the churches, and how they scream and yell about Armageddon and the Alpha and Omega, and how they're waiting for the Lord to come, and the Muslims are going to feel the wrath of Jesus, and all this kind of crazy stuff. They're foaming at the mouth like lunatics. Imagine if those people were actually implementing laws from their book with their understanding and their oppressiveness and the history of their oppression, and how they forced people into religion, and how they killed them if they didn't accept Christianity. Imagine if the laws actually reflected those beliefs that they had. Imagine. Alhamdulillah for separation of church and state. That needed to happen. Alhamdulillah for the oppressors, who are the scientists that came along, and the atheists that came along and stomped out Christianity and stomped it out into a church, diminished it and put it in a church, and not let it run rampant and run the society, because they literally wouldn't have gotten anywhere without them subduing Christianity, which is ultimately subduing kufr. So you have one form of kufr, which is the atheism and science, subduing another form of kufr. That's actually science and atheism is not violent, but Christianity was extremely violent and oppressive. So that was qadar Allahi wa ma sha'a fa'ala. That's excellent. The more I think about it, the more I look at those people, I'm like, oh yeah, that needed to happen. Excellent. But the Muslims are not like that. They're not oppressive, and people can live in the Muslim lands. They can believe whatever they want to believe. The Muslims don't force anything on them. Nothing at all. Practice whatever religion you want. You won't call to it, though. That's the difference. You will not call to Christianity or atheism or anything. Because Islam is the truth. And that's the belief of the Muslim. Even if you let the Muslims call to Islam in your lands, it's because you don't believe in anything. So your principles and our principles are not the same. And the Muslim is going to take full advantage of your lack of certainty or having laws that prohibit another religion coming into your land and us calling to it. Why not? You're giving us free liberty. Why not? There's no oppression. It's an invitation. There's no infiltration. It's an invitation. People are getting invited to Islam in the non-Muslim lands. You open the door. Why not? Right? But you can't do the same in the Muslim lands. Because, like I said, from the Muslim belief is that Islam is the truth. The absolute truth. 100% certainty. It's from our pillars of, it's from the conditions of our testimony of faith that you have 100% certainty. Doubt is not allowed whatsoever. Okay? So, just wanted to let y'all know that. Don't forget that Hijrah Man Day sacrifice. And inshallah, we'll see you all in the next video. Ma'assalam.